So many different times in my life, I've played with broken or hurt things, broken foot, broken leg, broken hand, broken arm, broken sternum, broken collarbone. I could keep going if I just thought more about bones. Why, man? Because I loved it. I loved playing the game. I was passionate about it. One of the reasons I even get encouraged at seeing all of you here. Do you know why I get encouraged by that? Is because you could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you. And they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women. 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks. I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Jack, thank you for letting me come to your beautiful home out here, and it's unbelievable. How come you chose to live in California and not a tourism capital like Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Well, this is like almost everything else I've done. It's very deliberate.
Okay.
When I came to Los Angeles prior to going overseas, and it was the only time I'd been there. It was in January of 1945, and I was going overseas to do my missions, and it was January, and I was at the beach.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
And I was tempted to go in the water.
Yeah.
And I said, boy, if I live through this, this is where I'm coming to live.
Really?
I exactly that way. The guy I was with, you know everybody in New York, that's where you're from. That doesn't matter. I said, I may starve, but I'll never be cold.
Yeah. Well, I want to say this because we're talking about the 3 R's of business success: relationships, results, and rewards. And I know everyone defines success differently, but I think that we could all agree: nice home, check; wonderful wife, check; great family, check; something you're passionate about with your business, check; you're having fun every day, check. I mean, you've had a lot of success, so I think you're uniquely qualified to talk about this. And so we're going to go ahead and kind of deep dive into these 3 R's.
Okay.
Now, Jack, obviously when most people think about the 3 R's, they're usually thinking of reading, writing, arithmetic. That's kind
where I
of
stole it from.
Okay, but you've kind of rebranded it. You've done some synthetic creativity here. You've taken 2 ideas and kind of merged them into something else. And so we're talking about relationships, results, and rewards. And now in your book, you talk about the 3 R's, and you go on to say here, the 3 R's in education are reading, writing, and arithmetic. Without these basic skills, learning becomes almost impossible. In a similar way, businesses start with a relationship. You are then judged by the results, and rewards spring from the results. Jack, talk to me about what you mean when you say this first major R here. Talk to me when you say relationships. What do you mean by a great business starts with relationships?
Yeah, a relationship is really a very big overall word. You can have many different kinds of relationships, but I found in the a long time before that, someone said, you have to be a different kind of guy when you go to work than when you're home. Because you're a nice guy and you let this go, but you have to be tough when you go to work. And I said, I can't do that. I'm one person, and I'm the same guy whether I'm in the office or at home. I may have different answers, but I'm basically the same person. If I want to make a deal with somebody, and every deal involves a certain amount of trust.
Yeah.
It's if I know that person and he knows me and we've established a relationship, he's ready to listen to my story and ready to go along with it because the relationship is already there. And that's the important part of it. And what I say is the relationship is like getting an e-ticket at Disneyland. You can go on any ride you want once you have that relationship. And from the relationships, you should get results. You've got to show results. You can't just say we're good friends, but the deal failed.
Yeah.
So you need the results, and then from the results, spring the rewards. So I took the 3 R's of education, saying it's basic to all schooling that you have those 3 R's. And I say the 3 R's of business are basic to all business. You have to have a relationship. I cannot sell to someone who hates me or I hate. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. And when you have a good relationship, you want to make it work. I remember I was contacted by a W.H. Smith company in London on one of my pens. And we got into I hadn't sold pens retail. All my pens were for advertising.
Okay.
And we got to meet and we got to talk and we had lunch together. And we found out that we had a lot of things in common. One of them, he was in the British Army Air Force, or the British Air Force. I was in the American Air Force, and we had some. Anyway, without deliberately trying to make an impression, we were having a conversation of some things that interested us. And I remember the first pens we created for them really turned out terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. You mean you made a mistake?
This guy, oh God. Got to tell you one of my favorite mistakes. So I was waiting for the knife to fall. When did you say cancel that order? This was terrible. So I anticipated, knowing the kind of guy I was, I want to talk to you, and knowing that I have to take a bull by the horns, and I tell them all my problems that I had with this particular pen and how we were correcting it and how they would correct it. And he just looked at me with a blithe smile and a really British manner and said, well, you were just having a few teething problems. Broke the tension completely.
Yeah. Well, I want to say this because you said 2 statements that were pretty profound. One, you said you didn't want to be a different person at home than at work. And the word integrity, comes from the word integer. Obviously, it's an indivisible number. And so I think that's a lot of wisdom there that you wanted to have integrity all the time. Because really, I think in relationships, it's hard to have a relationship with somebody who's different at home than they are at work and over here and over there. You kind of want to deal with someone who has that basic integrity.
I don't want to have people ask which Jack Nadell is going to show up.
Right. You want to be the same one
I
all the
want to be
time.
the same guy. I once sold a small item, a very small imprint space. It was it was a small pen, actually, but had a very tiny barrel. And the name of the customer was Associated Wholesale Electric Company. And after he got shipment, he got on the phone. The phone was on fire. He said, get down there. We got really a catastrophe here. I don't know what's the catastrophe, but I'll be there in 15 minutes. Get there. He said, take a look at that pen. I look at it. It looks nice. He says, read the imprint.
Oh, no.
Well, whoever decided the imprint could not put Associated Wholesale Electric on one line, so it came out Asshole Electric. I looked at it, boy, I just decided, I said, you ought to pay me extra for this. He said, why? I said, how many people are going to talk about Associated Wholesale? But asshole, they'll talk about all the time. And sure enough, he repeated 3 times, always wanted exactly the same printing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a quote from the late great success author Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill says, "The mastermind principle consists of an alliance of 2 or more minds working in perfect harmony for the attainment of a common, definite objective. Success does not come without the cooperation of others." In your mind, what are the first action steps that everyone should take if they want to build a solid relationship? I mean, what are the first action steps that I should take if I want to establish a solid relationship with somebody?
Show a real interest in his problem.
Okay. Show a real interest in his problem.
Yeah, my opening pitch when I started the company was, this is the company, but we've got special techniques to solve problems. Tell me what your biggest problem is. Let's see if we can solve it together.
And that is so uncommon towards, I guess it's almost a complete opposite as to what you see in the world of business. Normally it's, hey, I'm going to talk at you, and I'm going to tell you all these great things about me, and then I'm going to try to wow you. And you're going, no. We're going to find his problem. We're going to listen to him and say, tell me your problem. Let's solve this together.
The other thing that people don't understand is that people are not interested in what's bothering you. It's what's bothering them. This is the key. Don't tell me how hard you work.
Yeah.
I really don't care. Tell me what are the results. You want me to use this promotion? What's worked before for you? This is something we can talk about. But you've got. I'd say the most positive part of establishing a relationship is having a sincere interest in resolving your customer's problem.
Now, Zig Ziglar talks about how basically selling is just finding problems for people and solving them. And as we kind of transition,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he talks about that.
Okay.
And as we transition into results, there was a study that the Harvard Business Review published. They published an article entitled "Customers Today Are Strongly Value-Oriented." It says, but just what does that mean? Customers tell us that value means the results they receive in relation to the total costs, both the price and the other costs to the customer incurred in acquiring the service. As an example, they said the insurance company Progressive is creating, it's a system where you can process your claim quickly, and you can basically quickly get a policy, process the claim. It's all online, it's effortless, it's easy for the policyholder. How important is it? Let's say you have an awesome relationship. How important is it to generate results quickly once you have the relationship?
The relationship only helps you get to the starting line.
Okay.
The results have to be there. You have to be ingenious, and I think every one of us who sell anything or buy anything or ever talk in front of a microphone, our first obligation is to entertain the other person, is that they should become involved with us. So when I say find the problem, it's not usually an obvious problem. We used to do a great deal of business with banks across the country.
Yeah.
And we found that by giving away a gift, the bank could get people to open accounts. So the banking industry regulated it at that point that you can't spend more than $2.50 for the gift.
Oh, come on.
True.
That's
true.
it. You couldn't spend more than $2.50?
Spend $2.50 for the gift.
Really?
For the gift. You spend all you want on advertising. You can $2.50 on the gift. And as I got into this and I realized all the banks were into it now, I said, tell me, besides the fact that you have to make a choice, what is it that you really don't like about this? Because it's something you don't like, the way you told me. I'm a banker, I'm not a merchant. Now I found out something.
Yeah.
He doesn't like being a merchant.
Okay.
I said, you have no problem. I said, you be the banker and I'll be the merchant because I don't mind, that's my job. I said, I'll put the merchandise in and take it out and you pay me only for the accounts that you opened. This was so easy to sell, it was ridiculous. I got a lock on almost all the bank business.
Simply because you took the time to listen, to build the relationship.
What was
to
really
find,
bothering him.
Yeah, to find the problem that was really bothering them.
Wasn't bothering him that the stuff wasn't working. He was bothering me. He doesn't want to look like a merchant.
So
I want to look like a banker. Okay, pal, you're a banker.
So let me ask you this here. For the Thrivers all across the planet, if they're right now saying, okay, I want to start to deliver meaningful results to my customers, whether it's a product or service I'm selling, what is an action step that you would encourage everybody around the planet to do? If they own a business or they run a business and they're trying to deliver meaningful results for their customers, what would you encourage them to do?
What is the most important point? What is the most important utility? What is the most important thing about your product that says to him, buy this rather than this, and enlarge on that?
Okay.
So, in other words, there are different reasons that people buy things. One is strictly price.
Okay.
One is looks. One is prestige. The minute you put a jewelry gift in that green box by that great jewelry company, everybody knows, but escaping my mind.
Oh, Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Yeah.
That makes the gift worth twice as much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Took it out of the anticipation of taking it out of that Tiffany box is the big. So you got to say, not so much as what is this compared to that. What is it that turns this person on? Mm-hmm. What is it that really appeals to this person? And what is the owner's job I can take away from him that's going to make me his buddy for life?
I know one of the companies I did some consulting with back in the day was a wedding cake business. And we would sit down and we'd talk to these brides. And before, the company was strictly selling on price. So the bride would come in and say, how much do you charge? And by the way, every business, they always ask, how much do you charge, Jack? How much do you charge? And the owner was currently saying, this is how much we charge. The customer leaves and says, thank you, and they go compare prices. And that's it. Because there's no, like in the absence of value, price is the only thing for the customer to consider. And we just changed the script where we had to ask the customer 10 questions. And so the questions were, hey, that's a great question as far as the price, but let me ask you, let's say that all bakeries charge the same price. What do you want out of your cake? What's the worst cake you've ever seen and why? What do you want out of the cake? Why are you, and then by the time you get into it, we would find exactly what they wanted. And what they wanted was, and they would tell you. I mean, it was exciting.
Absolutely. I find that people speaking about their own business will talk all day. We'll talk, and sometimes you'll find what's bothering them isn't even close to what you would have guessed. So why guess? Why not listen, ask, listen, and then act on that advice. This is the only way to do it. I want to get that person what he or she wants. And they want results. So this is how we do
And I'm
it.
going to pile on for the Thrivers who are listening right now and watching, because this is the same when you're raising money for venture capital. It's the same thing when you're doing a sales deal. It's the same deal when you're hiring somebody. You just got to find out what the person wants, really listen to it. Ask them, don't guess.
And find if you're on the right street.
Okay.
Now, I mean by that, sometimes what you think they're interested in is not necessarily so. I once asked that question, what's your biggest problem? And I'm expecting to find out quality, price, safety.
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 Let me ask you this here now. So if you built the relationship, then you focus on the results. That third area is rewards. So when you say rewards is the third R, what do you mean by rewards?
Well, rewards are manifold. The rewards can be just the dollars involved, of course. You invest $10 and you get back 20. You got a $10 reward. That's okay. There's the good feeling that comes from it. That's a reward. My wife and I are involved now. We created a drug trafficking program for our local medical clinic, because 55% of readmission in the hospital is people take bad drugs that conflict with that they're already taking. We put in a drug trafficking program, and there's a person that says that you can't put this drug with this drug.
Yeah.
And so the satisfaction when she came to me and said, you saved 6 lives. I said, man, that's satisfaction.
And so when you build relationships and then you go out there and you deliver results, the rewards could be the feeling you feel good, you make more money, which feels good. You have the new relationships, which feels good. I mean, there's all sorts of rewards. And there was a quote that Napoleon Hill said where he says, by establishing a reputation, by being a person who renders more service and better service for which you are paid, you will benefit by comparison with those around you who do not render such service. And the contrast will be so noticeable that there will be keen competition for your services, no matter what your life work may be. And it sounds like that's what you're all about. It sounds like you not only want to do a great job, but you want to do an over-the-top great job. So that
I want it as part of my, which I hope we'll get into at some point, is my 5-step method for going into business.
Yeah.
But the one thing that you want is to be able to do the job that you say you can do, and when you deliver it, in the 5th step is find something extra you can give to that client.
Find something extra.
Find something you didn't even expect. Always try to give a little something extra.
And that's an action step that all the Thrivers can do right now, is if you have a relationship and once you've delivered some results, go ahead and look for one extra thing you can do, because if you do that, it'll come back to you.
You got it.
Yeah. Well, Jack, I appreciate you, one, for redefining the 3 R's. I mean, you didn't have to do that, but reading, writing, and arithmetic has now been forever replaced with relationships and results and rewards. I love that. And I also appreciate you writing the book, The Evolution of an Entrepreneur. And for anybody who hasn't read your book, it is an awesome read through 67 years of entrepreneurial success. I mean, from right out of the military at age 22 to today at the age of 91, you've been doing things the right way for a long time, and you've even learned from your mistakes along the way. And I appreciate you opening your home and your time and your calendar to letting us come harass you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Like everything else I do, I had a great time.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
If you're watching and you're in the ditch right now of life, don't park there.
Who's not?
Keep going.
Who's not? Can I ask you some stuff that's probably off the record I shouldn't ask about?
You can ask me whatever you want, man.
Okay. So you've gone through divorce.
Yes, sir.
Is that terrible?
I didn't know how I was going to live through that moment, Clay.
Then you're still working through it.
Everybody told me that based on the circumstances, I shouldn't be alive right now.
And you went through hell.
Yeah.
But you didn't stop.
No.
And that's why you are the guy you are. There's a certain level of perseverance. It's like a muscle.
Yeah.
That strength is built through you're building the muscle based off of tension, off of stress. It's like an oak tree becomes solid over time because the winds pull it here, they pull it here. But over time, the oak tree becomes this mighty, unmovable rock-like tree. That's why it's unbelievable. Right. You've gone through it.
Yeah.
I've got through. I'm asking you, what are you going through? Find me somebody who's not going through a personal hell, and I'll show you a young child who has really parents that have helped kind of insulate you. And if you're watching this and you're a young child and you've been insulated and you're not dealing with major crisis, praise God. But I'm telling you, the moment that you go out there into the world and you start your business, or you go out there and get your job, you're going to go through some adversity. And that's what we're talking about today.
Let me give you one key before I jump into the next one.
Do it.
That has helped me. If you're walking through hell right now, whether it be in your marriage, in your business, whatever has happened with your child, teenage child, maybe running away, here's the key that has helped me.
Yeah.
Somebody said this to me. If you don't get bitter, you will make it.
That's it. You got to get better. Don't get bitter.
There we go.
Boom. Back to you.
So now, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was taken away from Walt Disney. And in 1928, he decides to create what is called Mortimer. My Spanish accent, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm from Puerto Rico. Here's my Spanish accent.
Hey, we love
Mortimer
it.
the Mouse. And he named it Mortimer the Mouse, but Walt's wife, Clay, said, I don't like that name. Why don't you just call him Mickey Mouse?
Well, here's the deal. Lillian, his wife, we'll put a picture of Mortimer on the screen, okay?
He's not a pretty mouse.
Well, yeah, Mortimer was very angular, and his wife just didn't like the name. She thought it was kind of a devious name. It kind of sounded like a bad guy.
Yeah.
And so she's like, babe, you need to change it, And so his wife, Lillian, says, you need to change it. And I'll tell you this, in business, my wife, my wife is a source of wisdom. If you're married to a wonderful lady or you're married to a guy, one thing is that if you marry somebody who's in your corner, they're trying to help you be successful. They're not sitting there trying to I secretly want this person to be unsuccessful. So my wife right now, she's running for Mrs. Oklahoma. Woo! So if you go to Now I See Book, you can go up there and kind of see her journey. And I'll do a little bit off the record. I don't want to rabbit trail too far, but our son was born blind, and he can now see. And so there's a book that my wife wrote about that called Now I See. So the Now I See book is her site. But anyway, my wife's going through some stuff, and she did a speaking event the other day. I told her, I said, babe, when you speak, you need to speak more slowly. You need to be, because you're very excited, you're very enthusiastic. When you go out there to speak, you need to speak slowly. Because if you speak too fast, people can't hear you. They can't understand what you're saying. They just logistically can't do it. And she knew that I was trying to help her. And so she was like, okay. And she took that feedback, and she was able to implement that into her presentation, and she did everything else right. It's just that she needed help on that part. And it's just, and so everybody, you listen to your spouse occasionally, But all I'm saying is that, like, his wife, it would have been named Mortimer, but she was like, why don't we change it to Mickey? So his wife Lillian's responsible for changing that name. And what he did is he started doing this. Became very innovative. He started doing some things that no one else was doing. And what he worked on was this synchronizing cartoons, the actual cartoon drawings, with sound. So it was a moving picture. He's one of the first guys to synchronize the sound, with the animation. And he made this thing called Steamboat Willie. Steamboat Willie was his first show. We can go on YouTube and watch Steamboat Willie. But that was his first thing that really started to take off. Now let's look at how old was he at this time, because he was born in 1901, and so this is 1928. So he's 27. So he's 9 years after he started. Remember how he started with 1919? We talked about.
Right.
So I want to go back. I want to look at this. I want to make sure we're getting this. So really, 1919, homeboy's getting his first job in the industry, and now it's 1929, right? And this is
he dropped out of school, Clay. Remember that?
He dropped out of school, right? He dropped out of school. His cartoon was stolen. He dropped out of school. He went bankrupt. He's gone through some stuff. And guess what? You're going to go through some stuff. We've all gone through some stuff.
Betrayal.
We're going to be betrayed. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to lose your money. You're going to have struggles, but you got to keep going.
Just digesting this. Thriver.
Yeah, just marinate.
This is great. So Clay, in 1930, both Walt and his brother Roy, they licensed all the Mickey-related merchandise.
Yeah.
Can you break it down for us and tell us the story behind behind all this?
Well, again, it took him from 1919 to 1930 to have some success. It was 11 years. 11 years? I thought success happened in like 2 years. I was on Quora.com last night, and I read this blog, and I read like a half a page of this blog about Elon Musk, and I thought I could be successful in like an hour. I just got this new job. I feel like I should be the boss. I've been working at this job for a year, and I'm not in charge of anything. Just stop with that inner dialogue. We need to be focused on achieving success, and it's a long-term deal. Guys, check it out. Here's a little scientific news flash for you. This just in. When you plant seeds and you water them, you can reasonably expect there to be corn that will show up around thigh high in July. That's how that works, okay? Thigh high by July. If you live in Minnesota, it's something you know. I'm your brother from Minnesota, giving you that agricultural knowledge you don't get in college, but it's thigh high by July if you're sowing your seeds. The point is, there's these new kind of seeds they're doing where there's new kinds of chickens that are being raised where they're on steroids. Yeah. And so they grow the chicken faster, they grow the corn faster, and guess what they're finding? It's not healthy. Oh, it's so weird. Hey, here's a story for you. I want everyone to do this. This I call this challenge, and you're going to have to edit out the word. We're going to call this the blank challenge.
The chicken challenge.
Go to a fast food restaurant that might or might not be a national chain, and it will. Anyway, so you go there. They have a clown with a red hair theme, but go there and get a hamburger today. Get the hamburger today. Get the hamburger. I want you to get the hamburger, and I want you to put it in your cupboard. Mm-hmm. Put it in your cupboard and leave it there for 10 years. And I'm not kidding, leave it there. Every week, go back and look at it, and it does not biodegrade. Ever. Someone says, are you kidding? No. Get the hamburger, put it in the cupboard, and just notice at no point will it grow mold. Why? Because it was never actually what you think it was.
I wonder what it is.
But it's 99 cents and it was made quickly. I mean, does it not seem sort of disturbing that you're pulling into the fast food and that they make the food and it's ready in 30 seconds? Of course it's not healthy. Come on. I mean, that's how it is. So all I'm saying is if you want microwave success, you want microwave friends, you want a microwave marriage, you want microwave kids, guess what? It's not going to be good for you. You got to have, if you're going to have a marriage that's something, or have kids that have a relationship with you, you have to invest in that over and over and over, and maybe for 11 years. So yeah. I want to share this with you. I got some notable quotables I'm going to give you a little bonus here, okay? One is you do not get paid for the hour. You get paid for the value you bring to the hour. That's by Jim Rohn. I know a lot of people think that quote might be from Bernie Sanders, Feel the Burn, but it's not. It's from Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn says again, you don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. What am I saying? I'm saying that you get paid based off of results. So for 11 years, those guys didn't have the ability to bring in a value to make a profit, and they deserve to not make a profit because it wasn't a profitable idea. But over time, as with every business, they will eventually, if they stay the course and they listen to their customers,
don't give up.
They don't give up, they will become profitable. So the elephant in the room, that's the haircut business I have.
Yeah.
We're now making a lot of money. We're making copious amounts of money. It's a great business, but it took us 4 years to build something to that level. People, I wish I was like you where I had multiple companies. You can do it.
Yes.
But you've got to invest for the long term. I want to give you this little definition, okay, of the word profit. It says the excess of returns over expenditure in a transaction or series of transactions. The excess of the selling price of the goods over the cost of the goods. What am I saying? You have to bring in more money than you spend. And the only way to do that is to make something awesome. And it takes you a while, just like making a good stew, just like making some good. Somebody here is like you smoke meat. You're a meat smoker. Mm. And if you're going to make a really good brisket, you're going to smoke that thing for maybe the whole day. You may even smoke it for a couple days. I know people who smoke a turkey. They just let that thing just slow marinate, smoking that. It's like, Dad, should we eat that? No, I'm just smoking it. I'm just letting it slow simmer, letting it low cook. You smell the mesquite wood, and you just, Dad, can we eat it? No, just letting it marinate, slow cook, rotisserie. And then people are like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So then you're like, I'm going to replicate it. I'm going to go to the frozen freezer section, and I'm going to try to get instant ribs, instant brisket. And guess what? It doesn't taste as good. And why? Because anything that's a microwave, nuclear, like very quick solution has a byproduct that's not good for you. So just think about that. Now, one more fun factoid is Lee Cockrell, one of our Thrive15.com mentors.
Amazing.
His job was created by Walt Disney back when? When was, because remember, he was the former executive vice president of Walt Disney World. This guy managed 40,000 cast members, aka employees, 40,000 cast members at Walt Disney World resorts. He managed 20 resort hotels, 4 theme parks, 2 water parks. They see over 1 million people a week at Disney World. They see 132.5 million guests per year with the Disney attractions.
Wow.
And it was all created when did the success happen? Somebody say it. I know Bruce is saying it because I know Bruce. Bruce and I have this special relationship where as soon as we finish every shoot, we immediately play very violent dodgeball. But here's the thing: is listen to this. When Bruce did Walt Disney? When was Lee Cockrell's job created? It was created right there in 1919 when he had the audacity and the belief in himself to go work for $684.73 per month. Right? So Lee Cockrell's job was created in 1919 by a young man who was how old? 18 years old. That's how you do it. So if you want to achieve massive success, I'm just telling you, you're eventually going to have to get in the game. And you know what? You might have to go work, and that's in today's money, $684 or whatever it is. I mean, that's how it happens. So I'm just telling you, it took, now let's add up the days here. I want to make sure I get it right here. It took Walt 4,015 nights, 11 years, to become an overnight success story. And that, my friend, is how Walt Disney fought through adversity.
Wow. Thank you, Clay, so much for sharing. I feel that somebody that's watching this, some of you need to watch and rewind and rewatch some of this, because that attitude of perseverance, of overcoming adversity, is something that all of us need, no matter what phase we're going through in life. So, Thrivers, thank you for tuning in. Clay, thanks again for sharing with us. If you have any questions, if you have any type of question that you have for us, don't forget to email us at info@thrive15.com, or you can press the button on your bottom right-hand side of your screen that says Ask the Mentor. Feel free to click that. We'll be more than happy to serve you guys. Again, we'll see you next time. We got some great trainings coming up. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great day.
Boom. JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. During the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. Whoa. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out, because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrivetime Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshops. We have the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, we've designed these
these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrivetime Show Business Workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Workshop, December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive. It's 2 days. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving. Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan?
We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you. And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.